What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome along to episode 75 of the F1 Ultimate Career Series for the Spanish Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, make sure to check that one out before you see this one. And as always, if you're new around here, then make sure to get subscribed for more future F1 content as the series continues on. So, round 8 then of the season takes us back to Catalonia for the first time since season 3. And truthfully, it still feels weird going to Spain halfway through the season. I'm still quite used to being one of the early rounds. We'll have to see in terms of pace where we are, because obviously Canada was a bit of a struggle pace-wise. I think we weren't quite up there as one of the fastest cars across the race weekend, but hopefully we try and get ourselves back on track and try and maintain our lead in the World Championship. Of course, our teammate rivalry and now a championship rivalry on the board too, so intensity against Lando Norris now quite heated here, so things getting a bit tougher for us in the standings. Norris is 15 points back from us as of right now. Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc not too far behind either. Truthfully, at best it could be a four-way title fight if things start to close up. In terms of our power unit, make a change to our MG UK, but everything else looks okay for now. And for a full-fledged look at the World Championship, 15 points over Norris. Verstappen is on 93 points, Leclerc on 91, so 29 points covering the top 4 here, which sounds like an awful lot given how close the championship's been in the past, but truthfully, that's still a solid number of drivers that could still be in the chance to win the title this year. Obviously, we're the favourites, I think, at McLaren. The McLaren's been a monster for us these first 7 rounds. Hopefully that form continues on. We've got some more points now for R&D. We've got 572 points. Have a look around, see if we can make any upgrades on the car for the next Grand Prix. Truthfully, I don't think we've got enough to go for anything at this point. We're starting to get towards the slightly more expensive upgrades, and unfortunately, we can't get anything for the minute. So I have to hold off on those resource points, save them perhaps for the next episode. But now it's time to head to Spain and get the 8th race for the season underway with qualifying.
It's a Catalonian qualifying for you today. Welcome along to Spain, to Barcelona, and wherever you are in the world. Do you feel the need for speed?
Crofty with a generational Top Gun reference here as you get set for qualifying for the Spanish Grand Prix, round 8 then of 2024, and hoping that qualifying goes better for us this time compared to how it did in Canada last time out. Of course, the wrong tyre choice in changing conditions on our second run. As a result, we qualified last for the last race, so hopefully we're trying to avoid that this time round. No risk of any weather getting in the way. The skies look perfect here in Spain. Lando Norris, our teammate, then emerges just in front of us. You see the yellow icon, which was formerly blue, on top of Norris's car there, implying that he is the championship rival, and one we'll keep an eye out for over the course of this Grand Prix. 15 points as a reminder, separating the 2 McLaren cars in the World Championship. Of course, our aim is to try and maintain that advantage, or possibly extend it if we can, over Norris, and then Verstappen obviously in 3rd place. Off the last corner, off turn 14 to start our first lap. Of course, Spain, the one circuit that we've visited in Ultimate Career, we visited it 3 times, and every time the circuit's been different in some way, mainly of course with the modifications to the last sector. We're down towards turn 1, one of the longest runs to the first corner of the season, bar Mexico perhaps, and going through turn 2 now, of course, the opening chicane there, and in surrounds the long sweeping right-hander of turn 3. Norris is there in front of us. We're trying to lose too much time over the course of that. He'll be our benchmark for this first lap. Into turn 4 now, 21.7 in the first sector, going way too wide off our line there and almost going to the grass. Sliding through turn 4, and unfortunately that might have binned off our first run in terms of having a chance at the fastest time. We're going into the last sector now, of course, into turn 12, which is modified for our last race here back in season 3. Didn't come in for season 4, so 2023 was in the last 2 corners. They went back to the original layout of turn 13 and 14. These 2 fast, almost flat out right-handers. Got a lift bit going into turn 14. Try and keep yourselves away from that gravel trap. But towards the line now, 1:13.0 for Norris, 1:13.2 for us. So 2 tenths off of Alonso goes faster than us then. 1:12.9. So the Aston Martin and the home favourite is on it today. So Alonso fastest to start things off, but Verstappen outqualifies him, 1:12.958 for Verstappen, and we sit down in 6th place. Only 3 tenths off, but that's how close these top 4 teams are. It's fantastic to see. But no sign as of right now of Lewis Hamilton in the top 10. So Hamilton in the bottom half of the order, which could be a concern from going into the race. But on to our last lap now. Checker flags now fallen. Hamilton is there in P9. We're down to P7 here. Green, sector 2, improving a little bit. Only up by 3.5 tenths. We're trying to make it 4 in this last sector. Into turn 12, just 2 more corners to go on the circuit, lining ourselves up for a bit more overtake, going down towards these last 2 right-handers into turn 13, keeping it close to the inside line, keeping it on that black bit of groove on the racetrack. Into the last corner now to complete our second qualifying round, up towards the line, 4 tenths improvement, more or less. It's P2, and honestly improved a lot more in terms of position than I was hoping for there. P7 before the line, P12 after it, so front row alongside Verstappen for the start of the Grand Prix.
Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
So Verstappen takes pole, then he'll be our first challenge on the run down towards the first corner. Alonso 3rd, Russell 4th, Perez in 5th, and it's Norris, Sainz, Stroll, Hamilton, and Leclerc down in 10th. So not fantastic for the Monegasque, but all to play for then over the course of this race. Time now to jump into the Spanish Grand Prix.
So many eventful races here in Barcelona over the years. Do you remember Max Verstappen's first win on debut for Red Bull here in 2016? 2 years before, we had the dramatic coming together of Hamilton and Rosberg going towards turn 4. There's always a treat in store as we head back to the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. It's an updated track at Catalunya, and we welcome the removal of the chicane in the final sector, shortening lap times and reducing the total running to 2.9 miles and 14 turns. This was actually the original setup for the track, and it hasn't been used since 2007. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Cohen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Russell, Perez, Norris, Sainz, Stroll, Hamilton, Leclerc, Albon, Tsunoda, Gasly, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Ocon, Bottas, Zhou, Sargent, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And joining me in the commentary box once again, Naomi Schiff. Hi, Gnomes. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, every driver certainly has their own way of preparing themselves before a race. But I can tell you that pre-race rituals are a real thing. When I was in go-karting, I used to touch every wheel in a specific sequence before I got into the kart. And then I stepped up to cars and had a specific set of fireproof base layers just for race day. So watch the drivers when they're on the grid. Some may be sitting on the floor and isolating, others may be up to other things that they do. But these little things really help their minds get ready for the race.
Here we go then, no more talking, time for action for the Spanish Grand Prix, round 8 of 2024, and a big chance to try and take the lead into the first corner with Max Verstappen there on pole to our left. But in terms of strategy for the race ahead, softs to mediums seems to be the plan for the default strategy, but can we try and go any faster on the mediums and go to the soft later on the Grand Prix, try the ultimate strategy? I think we tried it in the past and it didn't quite work out for us, but in terms of time, I think we can do it. We're gonna run a risk here. We're going to start the mediums, run the soft to the end of the race, and hopefully give us a bit more push going to the checker flag. So hopefully things work out for us in terms of tyre wear.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres.
So we're not alone then in terms of our strategy then. Mediums for a number of starts on the grid, but the soft tyres fit to be the prime weapon of choice. But it is an even split, so it could go either way in terms of which strategy is the fastest one today.
We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
So starting from P2 then, with an opportunity to try and gain some more points on Norris in the World Championship, but of course Verstappen on pole with a chance to try and gain some points for himself over both McLaren cars, and keep an eye on Alonso there in third place, looking for win number 33 of his F1 career. His last one was here back in Spain back 11 years ago, so plenty of opportunity for a number of cars on the grid to win the race today. The last few cars take their places now. Sargent Hülkenberg at the back of the grid, and all eyes now on the lights to get the Spanish Grand Prix underway. Round number 8 of the 2024 F1 World Championship. And it's lights up, foot to the floor, go, go, go. We're racing here in Barcelona. Good start compared to Verstappen on the left, going down towards the first corner, but Verstappen in the second phase to start, pulling narrowly in front, keeping himself just ahead for the first braking zone. In towards turn 1 we come. Verstappen out brakes us, but locks up, going into turn 1. We pull back alongside, but sliding through turn 2. Verstappen gets back in front and maintains the race lead off the start then, so not a fantastic start. Could have been P1, but Verstappen kept his car under control, and as a result leads this Grand Prix. We sit second, Alonso in third, Perez fourth, and George Russell rounds out your top 5 at the end of the first sector. Verstappen still there in front of us, trying to pull away here, and Alonso on our tail going down towards turn 5 for the first time. And at the end of the first lap and push on to lap number 2 now. Verstappen 8/10 in front to the start of lap 2, and Alonso closing in as well. DRS in play for the first time. It'll be first activated going out of turn 9 towards turn 10, and of course the main straight going down towards turn 1 on lap 3. So Verstappen pulling in front. We're in DRS range for him as of right now, but at the end of the second lap, Verstappen now 1.6 in front, so no DRS for us, but DRS for Alonso here as we start lap 3. Verstappen fastest lap, 1:15.3. We set a 1:16.1 there. We're hilariously off pace from Verstappen as Alonso makes his move there, darts to the right hand side, takes P2 away. Perez trying the inside, potential double whammy here, going in towards this first corner, going to deny Perez at turn 1, but crucially, Alonso has P2 here, sliding out turn 2, and that puts us off our line for turn 3. Perez only just still behind us, so could have tried to move into 3, had we given him enough room, but fortunately not so. P3 for us for now. Has to get to work on chasing Alonso back down here and going through, trying to maintain DRS range off the circuit. They're making a mistake going through turn 7 and 8 and going towards 9, but narrowly keeping DRS only just, and Alonso will have to keep us, or try to push us out of range for a bit longer here. As Perez only 4 tenths back and Verstappen 2.7 in front. McLaren not on pace so far in this Grand Prix, pushing further on now towards the end of lap number 6. A couple of laps later, we've got an objective to try and pass Alonso before lap 11, so plenty of time to get it done here. And DRS for us this time. Perez 8 tenths back, no threat from behind, going down towards his first corner. Verstappen though 3.2 in front, so that Red Bull is dangerously quick here at the start of the race, but to the outside of Alonso, going towards turn 1 into the braking zone, pulling in front, objective cleared, and clearing Alonso 2, going through the first corner out of turn 2 into second place once again. But Alonso right behind us still, and Perez not too far behind either, 7 tenths back as of right now. But as we push our way out of turn 3 and down towards turn 4, once again it's a 3-horse race for the second spot, and onto that under 8 of this Grand Prix. Alonso may try another move here going towards this first corner. DRS in play, we're leading the train, going down towards turn 1. Alonso closing that gap, makes his move to the right hand side, going towards the braking zone, pulls in front narrowly and keeps himself clear. We're going to try to outbrake him for turn 1, the inside line for turn 2, and keep ourselves in front of him, or try and keep ourselves in front, side by side towards turn 3. Going to shut the door on Alonso and take second place back. So on these medium tyres, we're not doing too bad truthfully, given that we're fighting 2 cars on soft. Obviously Verstappen 4.3 in front now, so extending his lead as he push on to lap number 12 here, out of turn 14, once again a bit wider for a line onto the gravel trap there, out of the last corner, and Perez might take advantage of that onto lap 13 of the race. Perez with a fantastic run going down towards his first braking zone, and he blasts past in his Red Bull on the outside, so down to P3 once again. Then Alonso trying to threaten us for P4 from behind, and going into turn 1 once again. Perez now in front of us, he's now the car for us to chase through turn 3 once again onto a lap later. Verstappen pitting here, so we're now racing for the race lead on the run towards the first corner, closing on Perez, and Alonso is falling back too. Alonso in the pit lane as well, going down towards turn 1, sending it on Perez into the first corner and keeping it in front, narrowly keeping the car on the circuit. So P1 for us, and we've got an objective to charge our ERS up to 44% by lap 19, so we make our work of that and go on to lap 16 here a couple of laps later. A number of cars into the pit lane, including Lando Norris, and Verstappen obviously made his stop on a flyer here. 1:15.1 for the Dutchman going in towards the first corner once again. We're leading the race now, but Verstappen only 5 seconds back. A couple of laps later on lap 18, nearing our first stop of the race, Verstappen has closed that gap massively here. He's only a few tenths behind us and in DRS range, fighting for the race lead back, having made his stop already, and of course we still get to make our stop as well. So in terms of game plan from here, the tyres are struggling, so we're going to make our first pit stop a bit earlier than anticipated here and go on to our set of soft tyres 2 laps earlier than the original game plans, coming in now and leaving Verstappen to take the lead of the race once again at the end of lap number 18. And it's a big risk here, running 15 laps on the soft tyres, but do you know what? Sometimes you've got to take a risk to try and reap the rewards in Formula 1. So we're going to make that change and just hope that things work out for us here. So into our pit box, mechanics are waiting, soft tyres ready to go on. These mediums have done a fantastic job. This first stint obviously lasted a bit less than we thought they would, but hopefully these soft tyres will get us fueled a bit more, and hopefully again they'll last to the end of the Grand Prix. The left front I'm most concerned about. You've got corners like turn 3, the corners like the last 2 right-handers at the end of that obviously cost us a lot in terms of tyre wear, but emerging in P9 here, just behind Russell, Leclerc and Carlos Sainz in P6 there. So a number of cars for us to try and chase early on in this second stint. On to lap 19 now, and purple seconds actually, so pace is there, yellow flag in front of us. It's a Red Bull, but it can't be Verstappen. Verstappen's far out in front, so it's Sergio Perez who's got a problem here and pulling the car over the left-hand side of the main straight. Sergio Perez out of the Grand Prix. That's a free place for us, as it was off of Sainz last time in Canada. It's up to P8 now, but what's happened to Sergio Perez, whose Red Bull hasn't been fantastic this season? Verstappen's been the dominant teammate by a long way here. He's chasing Lewis Hamilton into turn 14, and the car, I'm assuming, just gives way on the main straight as he comes down towards turn 1 to start lap 20. Norris there behind him will also gain a place 2, and there's our train coming into view as Perez's car goes up in smoke, pulls the car over by the grandstand there, and that's it from as our train goes past. So up into P8 now, then on to midway through lap 20, and look, he's trying to make a move on Leclerc, trying to get ourselves involved in this train. Down the inside at turn number 5, into the left hand, and down the hill we come, and passing Leclerc, clearing him on corner exit, sliding slightly there, but keeping our eye on in terms of tyre wear. Things seem okay to start with. It's not fantastic, but obviously we knew that could happen when we put the tyres on. Going down the inside of Russell here, forcing ourselves to the inside of the racetrack, going into turn 10, over the curbs bit there, so lucky to avoid a warning for track limits, truthfully. But up into 6th place now, Carlos Sainz, now the next car in front of us, the last car in this train, and Norris is 3 seconds in front. Verstappen's going to gain a large number of points on us in the World Championship right now. Norris is going to gain a few, but obviously he's got less points he needs to try and gain on us in the championships. Off turn 14 here, our objective is to try and get around Carlos Sainz as Norris chases Hamilton for 3rd place. Fastest lap for us, going on to lap 21 of the race now, and closing in on Sainz on the run down towards turn 1. Fantastic run. Sainz will need to cover us off before we get there, but he tries to defend the inside but can't quite do it, and into turn 1 on the inside of the Spanish driver, taking P5 and putting a place on him at his home Grand Prix. So good stuff there, 5th place, and now starting work on Lando Norris, who himself is working on Lewis Hamilton on those medium tyres, who's 5 seconds up the road from us as of right now. And further on to lap 21 here, yellow flag down at turn 9. Looks like one of the Williams cars has got a problem here, and it's Alexander Albon again. Albon's had terrible luck with reliability over the course of this season. It's not been great for him so far. He's done alright. He's got a point or two on the board, I believe, but Albon, things have not gone well for him just in terms of luck this season. And there goes the Williams up in smoke just in front of one of the Haas cars there. And he's got no choice but, sorry, one of the Alpines. That's Esteban Ocon, apologies. I saw a Haas behind, that's Magnussen. And Albon will need to pull the car over and call it a day, unfortunately. So things not going brilliantly for Williams over the course of Ultimate Career, and this just carries that on as we push further on ourselves now on to lap number 28 and closing on Hamilton. Norris up to P3 now, 3.4 seconds up the road to Norris, keeping pace with the leaders. But in terms of us now, these soft tyres working fantastically here, but we are nearing a danger point in terms of puncture. No tyre light just yet, but keep an eye out for that as we start lap 29. 5 laps to go here in Spain with a fantastic run. DRS to our advantage too, and as we're passing Hamilton going towards turn 1, Norris is passing Alonso for second place, so Norris into P2 now, Verstappen in the lead still, so our two title rivals getting a lot of ground on us as it stands. We take P4 away from Lewis. I think the podium's off limits today. Alonso looks set for third with Norris having passed him for second place there, so our aim is to try and hold off Lewis and keep these tyres from burning out in the last few laps of this Grand Prix as we go into turn 4 and holding position over Hamilton, 56% down the left front, so it's nearing a danger point as he pushes further on to lap 31 of this race now. 2 laps to go across the line, and the tyre light is on. It's orange now, but it's getting redder and redder by the second here as off the last corner we come. Hamilton make a DRS on us, going down towards this first corner. He will get DRS. Alonso and Norris there, 4 and 5 seconds in front, so no chance of P3 for us. Hamilton with a great run, to defend the inside. Hamilton goes past us on the outside, fighting our former teammates, sending it on the inside, as we did on Perez earlier on in the race, and shutting the door going through turn 2. It's our only hope at this point to try and keep Lewis at bay, and Sainz is train closing in as well, 71% now. We're nearing puncture territory on that left front. We're at serious risk now with that tyre going down at some point in the last lap and a half of this Grand Prix. On to that end of lap 32 now, and starting the bell lap. One more lap to go in Spain. Hamilton with a fantastic run going towards turn 1 once again, and Sainz only a second behind now. That train is closing. There was Lewis to the inside, couldn't quite cover him off fast enough. Hamilton takes P4, and that could be all we have left for him here in the last lap of the race. Hamilton has taken P4 as Norris is set for P2, so good points for our teammates trying closest in the standings, and fantastic points for Max Verstappen, who's still leading up front right now on his last lap. He's only got a few more corners to go in this Grand Prix. He runs turn 13 and turn 14 for the last time. He's been dominant from pole position. Max Verstappen runs to the line and wins the Spanish Grand Prix, his third victory of the season. As he's doing that, we're going for one last send on our former teammate Hamilton. Back up the inside, switches back on us and takes P4 away, and that might have been our last chance to attack him. No real chances left going through turns 12, 13 and 14, so Hamilton has taken us at the last after we fought so hard on these soft tyres to close up to him and pass him. 2 corners to go, 1 corner left. The tyre will survive out of turn 14 to the checker flag, but Hamilton takes us 5th place to the checker flag, and our rivals gaining huge ground on us in the World Championship. Not a good day at all. The strategy did not pay off, which is becoming a trend this season, truthfully. We might have to go back to the old medium hard strategy to keep ourselves safe in the next few races. Hamilton driver of the day, fantastic race from him, but unfortunately our rivals gained ground on us today.
It's another victory and a champion's performance from Max Verstappen.
And they led every single lap of the race. It was a light to flag victory, and that is total dominance.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team.
So Verstappen then takes win number 3 of the season, victory at the Spanish Grand Prix, Norris in second, and Fernando Alonso takes his home podium in 3rd place. But our two rivals there on the podium, gaining big ground on us today in the World Championship, and that'll put them right on our tail for the next second half of the season. Halfway through now, and it's very much a 3-way fight for the World Championship. If Verstappen keeps pace, let's have a look now at the final results of this race and where that leaves us in terms of the World Championship at the halfway stage.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So by 3/10, and Hamilton finishes in 4th place. We finish 5th, and it's Leclerc, Sainz, Russell, Stroll and Tsunoda rounding at the top 10. Points for RB, points for Aston Martin on the board there. Good points today for them. And obviously Perez retiring, as did Alexander Albon in the second half of the Grand Prix. But in terms then of the World Drivers' Championship, we still lead, but now by only 8 points to Norris and 13 to Verstappen. Things have closed down massively here. Leclerc falls away, he finished lower than we did today. So Leclerc 32 points back in 4th place. But Alonso in 5th now is doing a fantastic job for Aston Martin. And in terms of the constructors, 92 points. Our league goes back up a little bit thanks to Perez's retirement, but the Drivers' Championship is the main focus there. 3-way title fight for the second half of the season. But guys, that'll do it for this episode of the F1 Ultimate Career Series. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more future F1 content. An absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.